Yeah. They say quit your job, live your dreams, make music for a living. But how much money are these producers, how much money are these recording artists really making completely independent, doing it all themselves? All right, I don't know if you were aware. For some reason, I don't know what triggered this all, but I think someone kicked the hornet's nest that is the online producer community. And I'm talking about the top sellers. And it could have just been as innocent as some troll on Twitter saying internet producers don't make anything and they're all broke. I don't think it was that. I think it was something a little more positive than that. But what ended up happening was a lot of the top selling online producers started posting their BeatStars monthly earning statements. I don't know about you, if you saw them, my jaw hit the floor. This was before I was really, deep into the online beat licensing game. This was really when I was just starting. I remember, Yondo posted that he was making 10 to 12,000 a month. I had maybe this was around the time when I interviewed Taylor King and he said he made up to, I think, 20,000 in a single month. I believe 30 Hertz weighed in and he was about 10 to 12,000 a month as well. So I'm not speaking on their finances. I don't know them personally. They're the ones that shared this information. And what happened to me just now was that I sent out a tweet. This is something that we've heard all our lives to the point where we believed it. I didn't believe personally that I could be a career producer. How am I going to make money as a musician? I got to, get a job and follow the path that's already been forged for me. Why? Because getting a job is stable, right? It's reliable. You walk into your job, you work, you get your paycheck, life is good. And I had this conversation a lot, I think mostly with Soul actually. We talked about this notion of stability, of getting a regular job. That's how you're stable, right? Whether you're working at a factory, whether you're working in an office, whether you're working at a nonprofit, whatever, as long as you're getting this stable paycheck, that's comforting. Being in the music world where you have to, maybe like me, work 16-hour days sometimes, just so you can get whatever money you can to support yourself because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. That's not stable. That's not safe. That's too big of a risk. But how many people do we know with traditional 9-to-5 jobs that get fired all the time, or who are unemployed and overeducated, or who get laid off, or who get injured on the job and their working life is over, or who just decide they hate their job and it's bad for their mental health and it's destroying them, and now they're starting over at square one? It happens all the time. So yes, you get a stable paycheck. Yes, opening a small business, whether you're starting a grocery store in your neighborhood or you're deciding to make beats and sell those online, those are major risks. They're major risks. But to use stability as a deterrent to stop you from pursuing arts as a potential career is crazy, because stability is really it's a mischaracterization of traditional jobs. There's not much stability there. Maybe if you're a tenured professor or something, there's some degree of stability. Most of us could lose our livelihoods at any given moment. And I tweeted about that. Not to discourage you, but just to say, look, everything is a risk. So if your perception is that music is a far greater and more dangerous risk, and that's what's stopping you from trying to be a career musician, change your perception a little, because you might be making a mistake. You might end up later on in life having regrets of not trying to pursue arts or music as a career. This is what happens when one of my tweets gets more than 500 interactions within an afternoon. Whole lot of likes, whole lot of positive affirmation, and then some negative responses. The very first one was someone saying, well, how many musicians are making $50K a year? My response is, well, a lot that I know. And then someone challenged me to name 7. I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe if you had said 70, I'd feel challenged, but I can name 7 right now. Myself, Soul, Dream Life. These are people I know personally. I know myself personally. I know Dream Life personally. Beat Demons, that's 2 people. I'll just count them as 1. Curtis King. I want to talk about Curtis King in a second. Kato, Dame. I don't know how many this is. It's more than 7 that I've named so far. Snow the Product. I knew her. I was working with her before the deal, and now she's out of the deal. I think if you Google her net worth, I don't know how accurate it is, but it's in the millions. I don't actually know how much my man Ted Park makes, but he lives in New York. So that should imply something. What this shows me is that a lot of us just can't even fathom making a career or an income, a livable income off of music. I mean, yeah, we think maybe you can make $10,000, $20,000 a year off of music if you try really hard and you grind it out and you don't have a deal, you do it all yourself. That's a miserable existence. That's not the case. When I decided to quit my job, I was offered a job, and I was offered a good job, a job that I really would have liked. Would I still be working there today if I had accepted the job? I don't know. Things got restructured quite a bit. A lot of my favorite coworkers left. This was a job, I had just got my master's degree. This was a job that required a master's. I can tell you right now that I'm making twice as much as what they offered me initially, maybe more. And this is music, I don't have a record deal, I'm working for myself. And so the reason I respectfully declined to take that position was because in my head, I knew I could make more than that. I knew that I wanted to pursue music. I was already on the right path. I already had the plaque on my wall. I knew I could do it again. I knew I could do better. A lot of us don't know we can do better. A lot of us, the same way those tweets challenged my assertion that there were plenty of people that I knew making, a livable wage, $50,000 a year off of music. The same way those tweets challenge that, a lot of our minds, our brains are putting these barriers on ourselves because we don't think that that's even possible. We're really skeptical about the viability of financial success or the possibility of financial success with a music career. And it's crazy too because we're seeing it happen. This is what I wanted to talk about with Curtis King. Curtis King used to have fewer subscribers than me. We watched this happen. If you're a subscriber of Curtis King on YouTube, even though he launched Curtis King TVs off YouTube for the most part, you saw his ascent. You saw him suddenly start putting out more content, better content. You saw him revamp his brand. You saw him get a better camera. That's part of the reason I got a better camera. You saw his graphics get better. You saw his videos get more poignant. You saw him expand to the point where he even wrote a book. You saw him put in that work and you saw his upward progression. That's the type of thing that we need to look at and be inspired when 30 Hertz or Yondo or whoever posts their BeatStars earning statements and it's 5 figures monthly. That should inspire us. Not that we're looking at Yondo and saying I have to make $10,000-$12,000 a month or I'm a failure, but that, hey, he's doing that. It's possible. If I can't reach that amount, maybe I can make 3, maybe I can make 4, maybe I can make 25, whatever is livable for me. But putting limits on ourselves psychologically, saying I don't believe that musicians or artists can actually make a living because I've been sold this image of the starving artist. I've been sold this image of the struggling independent artist. I've been sold this image of stability in the 9-to-5 and instability in the arts career. We have to eliminate that. We have to eliminate that from our thought process, from our brain. It is possible. I'm telling you it's possible. I'm doing it. I'm giving you the names of other people who are doing it. Hopefully the people whose tweets I countered didn't take it as argumentation, just took it as real world examples of people doing what they want to do, what they could do. We have living, breathing models of what we can become. We can see their work ethic. We can see that Curtis King's putting a video out a day. We can see how many beats Dream Life is releasing. We can see Yondo's search rankings. We can see all of these strides made by our peers. Even if we see them as above us because they're making more money than us, they're still our peers. And that should be motivating to us, that should be empowering to us, and that should be an example for us to live by and grow by. We can learn. Curtis King, like I said, I watched him do it. You know how much that motivated me? We had a conversation about that. We both felt like we had hit a ceiling. The difference between the two of us is he decided to just push harder through that ceiling before I did. I'm hoping you do the same. I hope you eliminate the ceilings in your mind and then the ceilings within your career once you start building momentum for yourself as musicians, as artists, whatever creative endeavor you choose. Much success to you. Peace.